everyone, welcome to Walk the Talk with Balbir. And today I am with the co-founders of AD&D, Anand Menon and Shobhan Kothari. Hi Shobhan, hi Anand.
Hi.
Welcome to Walk the Talk.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for making time for the show, and let's begin.
Yes, please.
So when was AD&D born? And how's the journey been till date?
Very interesting story, right? I know Anand before our practice actually. He was a batch senior to me in college, and then we did our apprentice under Nitin Kilawala together, and that's where we kind of interacted a lot, and there was a great bonding. Furthermore, we participated in one competition, and our overlap of ideas was so strong that we said that at any given point in time, we want to start a practice together, we should think about it. He then disappeared for a little while and came back, I think, after about 3 years from his stint in Dubai. And that's it. It was a no-brainer. We just started our practice together.
And I think when we were interning together at Nitin Kilawala's office, we used to have a lot of conversations between us, ranging on various subjects, from films to plays to architecture. And without saying much, we realized that there was a very strong, commonality of thought. And I think we both made a mental note that someday I think we will work together. I think Shobhan got busy with a personal project, which was his father's school for the deaf and mute, which he did. That was his first architectural project, fresh out of college, and it was a great opportunity for him, and he jumped at it. And I, like every South Indian on planet India, decided he has to go and touch the shores of the Middle East. So I went off to the Middle East for 3-4 years, and I think every time I kept coming back during my annual leave. We would exchange notes. He would tell me about his school project. I would tell him about my experience working with international firms there. Then finally we decided at some point in time that I was ready to come back. I think he was done with his school project, and we said, let's set shop. In that sense of the word. And I think it's been a wonderful journey of 22 years as we stand today.
The interesting part of it is, the story behind the name, right? Because we actually started it as a shop, design and domain. D&D stands for design and domain, and we ran a very small, quaint shop in Juhu. At that point in time, there was only CAC, Contemporary Arts and Crafts. Mrs. Lal had not ventured beyond 4,000 square feet of good earth in Kambala, near Kambala Hill Hospital, opposite Kambala Hill Hospital, and we were taking on these two mighty giants. And we were doing this very small, quaint shop under the name of Design and Domain. And we used to bring things from Southeast Asia. So Bali, Philippines, Cebu, Thailand, we were in Malaysia.
Yeah, that's also the result of us doing individual trips to Bali and coming back, taking notes and seeing what a place, one great culture, one great art. And then things just fell into place over time. And then we said, what if we were to have our own store?
Okay, so these trips, information trips were prior to AD&D.
Yes.
So we both loved traveling at that point in time as well. But our trips culminated in the cultural influences aligning, right? And we said that, okay, let's start a shop first. And our shop was there, and on the mezzanine we had a practice.
Okay.
So it was like customers became our clients, and clients became customers. So it's an interesting.
In fact, our first architectural project was a client who walked into our store to buy some accessories.
Okay.
So, but yes, that's where the journey began for us.
I think it's been amazing, and I really want to congratulate you on your new office. I entered and I was like, oh my God, where have I come? I couldn't believe it, And then after taking around, I'm like, this vibe is today's vibe. It's like a Gen Z vibe. I think it's too good to be true. The space, the way you guys have used the space in the best possible way, the natural lighting and all of that, commendable. The black And yes, the Men in Black, whom I am interviewing today, it's absolutely stunning to be here.
Thank you so much. I think Shobhan and we humbly maintain that we are blessed. I know what I was talking to you earlier when I showed you the office that for about 2 years we were looking out for a space, and I think the space finally found us. That's what actually happened.
More importantly, like today also, like we still maintain earlier that the reason why there is great vibe, that's what I honestly said there is great vibe, was because I think we are nothing without our team. Our team is everything to us. And in the older office, we were so fractured. We were on the 5th floor, 8th floor, and 10th floor, and you've come there once.
Yes.
It was such a fractured studio. And you just realize, because we both at some level believe in vibe, we both believe in destiny. And we just realized that, having everybody coming together under one space, the vibe is just
the energy
is just beautiful. And I think that's the takeaway of this office, that the energy, because everybody is together now, is great.
Yeah, I mean, come on, when you look at it, you feel you entered into, I wouldn't say classroom, but I don't know, I don't have words. I was like, jaw drop. Seriously.
So interestingly, when we had someone, our visitors who dropped in maybe a couple of weeks back, and when she crossed over from the reception into the studio space, and she goes all quiet, and she had this look on her face, and I asked her, I hope all okay, I get weeks back, and she's like, Anand, I think I got the sense that I've entered into a church for a second, because just a certain scale of the space and a certain sense of calm. It's a studio, but it's very calm, right?
I remember using the word, I said it's obedience in silence, right? It's not obedience out of fear, but it's obedience in silence simply because the space just demands that you have a certain decorum, and I think that's what we love about this place.
It's absolutely stunning. I'm short on words, to be very honest, because I genuinely love the space and I've loved how you guys have transformed, no one from the outside would say what is inside. It's like a fantastic transformation. And then I said the vibe. It just put together. I'm sure you guys can come out with great work here. And then your cabins, oh my god, I am jealous. I love that.
You're more than welcome to keep coming back for coffee and tea and whatever else.
Yeah,
we actually had somebody who asked us after we showed them the space, and he's like, your cafeteria section, can people actually just come there and spend some time, if not at work, but can you catch up?
Actually, I was going to come to that because I'm like, I need to speak about that as well, because the way the chairs are designed, everything, every small aspect has been taken care of. Come on, chairs.
Bit of a passion.
It's really a labor of love, I think.
That's the best
And
part.
I think the one thing that Shobhan always spoke about when we were doing the office was that we try our best to keep it honest and authentic. So whatever you see here is that, there's nothing else.
It's that.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
Thank you.
I'm loving my time here. That doesn't mean I take more of your time. Genuinely love this place. Wishing you all the best. I'm sure it's going to do wonders for you all. I'm really impressed with you guys and all this place up. So also tell me about, what are your hobbies?
Well, let me go first on that.
Yeah, so I think while we have this common pursuit of architecture and interior that we follow very, very dearly, I think we also have our individualistic pursuits where I think it gives both of us an opportunity to explore our personalities, to express ourselves in a more free manner. Personally, for myself, I think I have too many interests beyond architecture. So it ranges from art which I think you got a glimpse and a bit of it at the office.
Yes.
Photography is something which I'm very, very passionate about, and because of a lot of travel that I engage myself with, I always carry my camera with me. I believe in capturing that moment, that magical moment that I would see when I'm in a particular place, kind of capture the flavor of a new city or a new country that I may visit. Yeah, other than that, I love to sing. I'm a bit of a glorified bathroom singer, so give it a chance. And
Our supplementary income is in there.
Yeah. so that's something that I'm very, very passionate about.
I have to hear this. I have to hear this sometime. I hope I will get this opportunity.
I hope I don't regret. You don't regret.
Not at all.
But
Anything that comes from passion is definitely a hard one.
I also think the great aspect of nurturing these hobbies of yours is it helps us to draw a lot of balance between various creative pursuits. How do you see a certain commonality, like something in music which is something what we call as rhythm, is again something that we also engage with when it comes to architecture. So your mind plays that dialogue with each other, and it's quite interesting how there can be so much commonality and they're still so different at the same time.
So when you're talking about, like you have so many hobbies and there were some, common things that you discussed that you are fond of, like, other than travel. When you travel, do you get some influence on your work, on your designs from your travel?
I think it's all the time, right? One of the key things is that you just have to be mindful, right? And you have to be in that zone at that point in time. So when one is going to travel, one is doing it with the interest of absorbing and being a sponge in that culture, right? If you go with that intention, the chances are that your mind is taking in whatever it has to take in, you're observed it. And at some given point in time, you'll be surprised how, like a file of facts, things begin to kind of fall into place in your day-to-day activities at work as well. I think you're constantly being influenced, and it's not just about architecture, and it's not just about interior design. It's about sometimes philosophy also, right? Anand and I, we both are huge on philosophy. We genuinely believe there needs to be a purpose to whatever one is doing and one is engaging in. And I think that strength of philosophy or that strength of being mindful is seen in our practice, is seen in our work. It's neither too garish, it's not in your face, it's neither jerky. There is a certain level of stillness that we like to believe that our work brings to the table, and there is a strong pursuit in that. So, yeah, I think even from the type of classes that you use, to the cutlery that you use, the artifacts that you're endorsing, the clothes that you wear, the way you talk to people, I think all of this is an influence of travel.
True.
I think,
yeah.
and it's something which when I speak to the employees, we speak to the staff at the studio, I always tell them that we kind of undermine the power of observation. You and I can be sitting in the same room and we could be absorbing and seeing very different things. So I always tell people, when we talk about this subject, I tell them that you should never underestimate the power of observation, and you've got to keep your eyes and ears open at all times, because it's just sometimes the design is just all around you, right? And it's how you kind of interact with that and how much you absorb. That there is good design, there is bad design, or not so good design.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah. So there is no bad design, but there is not so good design, because it's all relative at the end of the day. As they say, one man's food is another man's poison. So we accept that with a pinch of salt. But yes, the most important thing to keep in mind at all times is how do you stay in the moment and how do you stay constantly conscious of your environment.
So since you said, philosophy, mindfulness, how do you guys choose your projects? Like, I mean, is it, are you always on the same page, or you all have difference of opinion? Like you want to take up a project, and whereas he feels, no, this is not our scene. Have you all ever come to such a situation?
I think there is an underlying denominator in the office of philosophy, right? So that kind of first of all percolates and then filters down to such a strong degree that you are also attracting the same tribe of clients, same tribe of collaborators, so on and so forth. So obviously in today's day and age, the clients are also doing a little bit of a research on you before they kind of engage you. So, it would be unfair to say that, we don't do research on them as well, right? So we too are doing our research on them. It is about wavelength, right? Because it's a journey that you're taking on any project which is going to last you from anywhere between a year to 3 years, or sometimes on larger projects even for 4 to 5 years. Now, if there is not a strong belief in the ideology, the chances are you're going to fall between the cracks. So the idea is to have a little bit of a dialogue going initially to understand the reasons for taking up a project. So I think the scale of the project doesn't worry us. Like it could be a very small project. We just did a recent project in New York, which was it was a 1,500 square feet project. It was nothing else. But I think the ideologies matched with the client. The collaboration was apt, and we had to take on that kind of a work. Today we're doing an almost free project somewhere in New Zealand, right? Because I think, again, the philosophies are matching out there. So we're constantly looking, and why are we doing it? So I think the ideology at the firm is we want new geographies. We want new geographies, not just from tapping into whether we can build there or we can't build there. It's also to see the sustainability of our ideas and philosophy. That can our ideology be created as a stamp across the world, or is it limited to our geography? Because if it's limited to our geography, our ideology is a little bit, limited and narrow. So are we expanding our minds? Is our ideology filtering across different geographies? And that also is the test in the pudding, so to speak.
Also, I think, coming of age now, I think practices, whether we like it or not, but we have to move towards more collaborative attempts. And sometimes when you're transcending boundaries and work across the globe, you have to look at those possibilities also. And most importantly, I think, irrespective of whom you collaborate with, as long as both parties believe that the project is the hero, and that has to kind of sail through eventually. So you kind of park your egos on the side, and you say that we are working towards the collective goal of the project being a success story. I think you will get there eventually.
I think we've never had issues internally in terms of a friction.
No, I don't mean that.
In general,
yeah.
Say, even in terms of a project, and this project should take this direction or this project should take that direction, because I think that's kind of outlined way in advance. At the start of the project only, you're kind of finding out the purpose of why you want this project. What is it serving? What is the need? Is it just a filler in the office? Is it, we have electricity bills to pay, we have, what is the reason that you're doing? Or is it something that you believe that is going to further propel your philosophy? Do you feel that it is further reinforcing an idea that you want to experiment with, and it's going to give you that elbow room to kind of mature that particular idea? So I think those are critical things.
I think we believe every project is an opportunity that comes your way, and you define the purpose of the project for your office, and then you take it forward from there. We try to keep it simple, keep it not complicated. I think also now with being together for so many years now, I think more than often we are completing each other's sentences, which is sometimes very unnerving, because without saying something, what the other person is going to say now. So that's a great space to be in.
Absolutely.
I think that's the way I think we look at our work most.
best projects you guys like to work on? Like, is it hospitality or residential, offices, or what? Like,
So we're getting, I think for us, we started off like any other practice that starts off in Bombay doing a large amount of interior works. But there was a lot of conscious attempt at our end, almost I would say 6 to 7 years back, where we said that we need to become a healthy practice between architecture and interiors. We can't just do only interiors and we shouldn't do only architecture. We should explore both the verticals and genres. Today I think we're blessed to do a lot of architectural work also, and not just private clients with bungalows and farmhouses, but we're getting to do headquarter buildings of their offices, right? Which is a great thing. We've just ventured into a hotel project that we're doing. So we're doing a hotel for someone. The idea is not to limit yourself, right? So the idea is to say that, there is a bit of an unknown territory. Those butterflies need to keep happening to you, because if the butterflies are happening, you care. If the butterflies are not happening and you're just coming, it's like a duck, water off a duck's back, and the problem is you feel that, okay, this is a complacency. So I think every now and then there is a healthy mix of projects that keeps the whole studio and us on the toes to say that we don't know. We got to figure it out. We must learn, And I think that's interesting. I think that excitement and nervousness is good nervousness.
I think we like that projects should make us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They should
to get the best out of
to get the best out of us, because it's like saying that recently I was talking to somebody and we were talking about that what is better, getting a site or a client who's got no constraints, no parameters, and he asks you just to design. Is that more fun, or is it more fun that you get a site which is very challenging, has got constraints, and the client has got a very different set of requirements that you have to fulfill? You would always pick second of the two, the second of two options, because that is where the real effort lies, right? And then you come up with something which is far more worthwhile, far more meaningful, because you addressed those issues, you addressed those problems, you kind of cracked the code, and that's the
Also, I think somebody and said high risk, high gains. So there is no beautiful OTT platform and risk with risk. So there it is like that only. At the end of the day, one is trying to do projects which in that sense are going to stretch you out of your comfort zone. And those are the fun projects.
Yeah, projects should scare you.
They should scare you.
True.
Yeah, anything challenging
Will scare you.
Yeah, of course. And like we said, get the best out of you.
Yeah.
And that time you'll be like, oh my god, wow.
Wow, exactly.
That's how it is, yeah. So having a solid footing in both architecture and interior design and footprints in India, Nepal, Dubai, and like you said, New Zealand and New York, what more do you have, and how fun is it to work abroad? Like, is it as challenging, or is it challenging not like India, or as good as India, even better? What is it?
No, I think every geography has its own challenges. So I don't think it's fair to say that this is less challenging or that is more challenging. Every geography has its own share of hurdles that one has to kind of cross.
I think one of the great aspects of working in India is that there is such high level of customization which is possible at a far more affordable price. So you can get something which is very, very personal, very individualistic, and it will not be screaming in terms of the right side of the menu. But the same thing when you have to do it overseas, it's like an arm and a leg. And what you realize that even a mid-segment project overseas finally boils down to just curation of building materials which are already pre-decided, finishes which are pre-decided, and you're just actually putting it together. You really have to be working at a very high upper level segment to do a house, let's say in the Middle East, where everything can be customized. People can't afford it. So there's that clear joy of working in India because it allows you to do this. For example, those customized chairs that you saw in the cafe, those would not be so easily possible somewhere in another geography.
I think we're spoiled for choices in our geography.
Right.
But at the same time, the efficiency, or I would call it as a professionalism out there that exists, and the space at which people work, it's far faster.
Yeah, I think what we love to see is the systematic approach.
Yeah.
The systems that are put in place so that things happen very seamlessly, very smoothly. The transition from the drawing board to the execution is generally far more streamlined. Whereas in India, it's very organic even today. As much as we try our best to be system driven ourselves.
And to bring as much structure as possible to the vocation.
Yeah, but there are still certain things which happen in quote unquote the Indian way, and we have to. I mean, we are in Rome. You have to do as the Romans do. So we work around that. But I think a large part of our job is also to educate, is also to guide our clients. Very often, I think clients come to us with, I would say, half-baked ideas, but also a lot of misinformation. So it actually takes some time for us also to handhold them, bring them into a space of comfort, so they understand that why we are being motivated, why do we insist that drawings are very, very important to a project.
I think most of people's opinions are formed by experiences that they've had in the past, or they've heard, right? So, I mean, for every...
Heard more.
Heard more, for sure. And I think the thing is, every profession has its share of bad habits, right? So it's not, things don't go sideways. The question is that you have to analyze why it went sideways and then explain it to the client. There's not just because that went sideways that that's our set template that it will be the same when we get on board with you, right? And I think they need to see comfort, they need to see trust. These are things that people want to see beyond the fact that they're paying an arm and a leg to you. They want to see a comfort and they want to see trust. If they have these two things with you, chances are that you can walk miles with your client.
Like very often, there have been situations that clients have come to us and they have worked with maybe some other architect in the past, and sadly enough, they would come to us and say, what, I'll never work with this architect. Because at some level, that whole experience has been disheartening. It has been, an illusion for them. Right? It's left a very bitter taste. It's left a bitter taste in them. And then for us, it's actually having to work harder to re-establish the comfort zone.
And also build a trust, because that bridge has been broken. So, I think running a practice per se is a lot to do with managing trust more than anything. It's not just about design. It's also managing someone's trust. Your collaborators, your team members, your clients. It is that.
Yeah, like you do realize eventually that for your project, you are the captain of the ship, and you have to be able to hold all these people together, get them all on the same wavelength. We all should be, looking at the horizon together.
Of course.
That's the only way you can achieve, what you started off with.
So what's the next project, and also what is your dream project in?
I think both Anand and I are extremely keen to bite into larger canvases, to be honest with you. So I think we both love institutional buildings. We both love commercial projects. When we say commercial, they are public space projects. We like that. Museums, so on and so forth. So I think, yes, besides the work that we're doing, we're hoping that we get to bite into that. I think last year we did a pitch project for a textile firm to do a museum. As much as the project was a success and we got great reviews back, it didn't go through because of other modalities at their end. But it gave us the confidence that yes, if given a choice, we can kind of again tap into that genre, and that's the exciting part. As I said, for me, I love capturing new geographies. My heart, the business side of me keeps telling me that wow, I'm working here and I'm working here and I'm working here, and I want to continue to keep growing the practice to say that okay, we have literally, let's say, a foot in every city or in every country we want to do something. I think that's the big plan. That's the big plan.
I also think at a more micro level, but at a very more sensible level, we've been talking about it forever. Probably at the inception of D&D, we started it in a small way, and then the trail went cold. I think with the new office, we are slowly looking at reviving our love for furniture, a love for design, translating into furniture, and or bespoke pieces more than anything else. It doesn't necessarily have to be a piece of furniture, but it kind of becoming a line, as I like to call it. And, so that's showing something on the cards in the near future.
I'm sure you guys will achieve it because the sink you all have from childhood, I must say, is amazing, and it will definitely, it's got on so far with so much of success. I'm sure it's going to be, raving. You guys are going to be raving, I'm sure about it. And I'm wishing you all the best for that.
Thank you so much.
So Anand, what do you have to say about AceTech?
I think AceTech is probably the biggest platform that exists in the country. I think the only platform which is, panning across all the metros that we have. It brings together people from all allied fields, architects, interior designers, various vendors, various suppliers for new age materials. So it's always great to visit AceTech because it's that melting pot for all these people to come together, interact with each other, always leading with some new direction. So it's always great to be a part of AceTech one way or the other.
I think for me, I think the biggest. So obviously, since we are an old hand in the industry, one has seen the growth of AceTech, and one has seen the determination of AceTech and its management of how they have gone ahead and pursued it from a particular scale that they were to today, the scale that they are, and then it's going across in different cities, as you rightly said. I think that's very heartening, right? To see a certain sense of dedication towards that. I think personally, what I keep enjoying and I keep coming back to AceTech is only for the expert space, right? Because somewhere or the other, because you are a part of the industry will reach out to you in terms of its vendors and collaboration. So I don't spend so much time in the various booths that come there, simply because it is overwhelming, it's very large. But what I do enjoy is all the expert space, all the dialogues, all the conversations that are happening around it, and the people that have been invited for it. And I think that's a great platform.
I think there's something for everybody to take back from AceTech. I think what is your, what are you looking out for? So I think because it's a wide platform, so it has got to, I think, address, let's say, fresh graduates, maybe students of the field of design, with people who have been in the industry for 30, 40, 50 years.
That's even fantastic. So, great buyers, home buyers. Like we keep talking about this, but nobody addresses the fact that in a population of 150 crores, the number of people who can afford an architect is probably down to a crore. Right? That's the only amount of people that can afford an architect. But that's not the population with the disposable income alone. So there are lots of people in the aspirational value who want to make their homes, who want to look at new materials, who want to see that. AceTech is giving those people so much hope, right? To say that, okay, you don't need an architect, here are the different vendors, you can put it together if you want to, right? Of course, I'm not saying that this is not eating into my share of business, but at the same time, you need to understand that we can't cater to 150 crores. We just can't. So the fact is that there will always be someone out there on the food chain, who will want to do it on their own. And it's such a great incentive and an uplifting experience to just go there, meet different vendors, see that, okay, I can approach them, get it done myself. This whole, I don't know if I'm getting the acronym right, because I'm an old person, but DIY or
do it yourself.
Yeah, but I go to acronym DIY or it is that format, it allows you for that. And I think it's great.
I think it creates a lot of aspirational value.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah, it's a
entire
very good
social
point
structure.
that you picked up, because that's true.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people when we go around the show and we take bites from random people because we want to know.
Yeah, I think it's not for the industry alone. You need to
it's for
understand that.
everyone,
Yes.
and especially Rosie, it's not like you said, it's just 1 crore who can afford. It is the truth, I mean, we have all different genres, people from different genres of life who are in Mumbai, in India.
Yes.
And not everyone has the exposure to be
Exactly.
working with architects, interior designers. They are old school of thought that no, we have to do it ourselves. I mean, this portion of money that we would be spending on the designer and the design, we rather go do it, find out, take the extra effort, because they don't understand.
That's one.
of
I think it's not only about not understanding Mulberry. Sometimes I feel that the industry at large is also very intimidating, right? I mean, I cannot think of a tier 2 or a tier 3 person, unless he himself has got a substantial amount of exposure or the want for exposure, he would get extremely intimidated. I'm reminded of the Blue Strategy, like I love reading books, and there's the Blue Ocean Strategy, and that says that, why did something like, I forget the name of the wine, but it was something on the lines of, Jacob's Creek. I'm not getting that exact wine name. Yellowtail. Why did the Yellowtail become so popular? Right? The reason why Yellowtail became popular is it debunked the myth that wine is a connoisseur thing, and it began to sell wine at 4 to 6 o'clock at Walmart, when the people were going back from work and they were doing the shopping. Right? So from just selling one case, they said overnight started selling multiple cases. Now that strategy was to say that, wine is not just for the UHNI or HNI or the elite. It is, it can be had with everybody, and that was the fact in the ancient years. Right? You could get cheaper wine, not so good quality, that's fine, but you did get wine. And I think that's the whole logic. What A-Stack has done is that it has, neutralized it and said that those who are not comfortable, please come. Right? See your own thing, do your own thing, enjoy, take back information. You're giving that platform. At the same time, there are architects and interior designers, so if you feel that you want to engage and you want to do work with them, great, it's a platform for them too. So I think there's this healthy balance.
So coming to, you guys being, you guys loving the panel discussion and things, I am going to online propose to you guys to have a talk session, that you all curate for A-Stack 2024. I mean, it's a thought that has just come to me because you picked up a very valid point on, the talks, because that is what works today, when it comes to students, designers, everybody. They love the idea of you all, putting forward your thought because they are inspired by it. So how would that be?
Sure, I think if we come across topics, so our biggest reservation between Anand and me is the industry is regurgitating the same topics, right? And there is almost a repetitiveness of the topics that we're all talking about. So one has to also take the effort and the pains to come up with some topics which in that sense are hitting, probably they're difficult topics to talk on, but they're newer topics, right? And I think that's, if we hit upon that, and I'm saying, let's say we brainstorm and we came across and we said, okay, these are the 5 topics that we think we could work on, and we say that I like these, then why not? But yeah, I mean, the run-of-the-mill topics, unfortunately, though popular and
though it might still be needed for a lot of the audience, but then that's not something that would
attract us.
Right?
So, no, definitely. I have thrown the ball at you. We all have to decide the topics and tell us that okay, well, this is what we are going to be doing. And we will take it from there.
Sure, why not?
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Shubham and Anand. I really enjoyed this walk the dog with you all.
We didn't walk, but we talked.
Yeah. We did walk before we
We
started.
started, we would get down on film, so.
I know. But wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
In this beautiful space. I'm sure you're going to do wonders.
Thank you.
And yeah, God bless. And thank you once again for being a part of Walk the Talk with Baldeep.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.